In 1483, two young princes vanished within the Tower of London's ancient walls, sparking one of history's greatest murder mysteries. Today we'll unravel this medieval cold case, examining suspects, evidence, and the dark political intrigue that changed England forever. Let's meet our young princes at the heart of this medieval mystery. Edward V, born in 1470, and his younger brother Richard of Shrewsbury, born in 1473, were the sons of King Edward IV and Elizabeth Woodville. Growing up in the lap of luxury at Ludlow Castle, these boys were raised to rule. Edward, as the eldest, was groomed from birth to be king, while little Richard was created Duke of York, a title that carried massive importance. The princes received the finest education of their time, learning Latin, French, and the art of warfare, all while being surrounded by loyal servants and guards. Their father's unexpected death in 1483 suddenly thrust 12-year-old Edward into the spotlight as the new king, with his 9-year-old brother Richard right behind him in the line of succession. But their privileged position would soon become their greatest danger. When King Edward IV died unexpectedly in April 1483, England was thrown into political turmoil. The king's death created a dangerous power vacuum, with various nobles scrambling to control the young heir, Edward V. At the center of this chaos were two powerful factions, the Woodvilles, the Queen's family, and Richard, Duke of Gloucester, the king's brother. The Woodvilles quickly moved to secure their position, planning a grand coronation for young Edward. But Richard had other ideas. As the boy king traveled to London for his coronation, Richard intercepted the royal party at Stony Stratford. In a bold move, he arrested the Woodville supporters, took custody of Edward V, and declared himself Lord Protector of the realm. This dramatic power grab sent shockwaves through medieval England, setting the stage for even more shocking events to come. Richard III's path from protector to king reads like a masterclass in medieval power politics. After securing young Edward V, Richard made his next bold move. He convinced Parliament that his brother's marriage to Elizabeth Woodville had been invalid due to a previous secret marriage contract. This shocking revelation meant the princes were technically illegitimate, making them ineligible for the throne. In June 1483, Richard's allies in Parliament passed the document known as Titulus Regius, which officially declared the princes illegitimate and offered Richard the crown. Within days, Richard III was crowned king in an elaborate ceremony at Westminster Abbey, while his nephews remained confined in the Tower. The speed and efficiency of Richard's rise raised eyebrows even then. He had gone from trusted uncle to king in just 3 months, leaving many to wonder about his true motives. The summer of 1483 marked the last confirmed sightings of the princes in the Tower of London. Witnesses reported seeing the boys playing in the Tower gardens and practicing archery in the courtyard. But as the weeks passed, these glimpses became increasingly rare. By late summer, the boys had vanished from public view entirely. Contemporary sources tell us that the princes were gradually isolated, with their servants dismissed and replaced. The last person to report seeing them was a guard who mentioned watching them through a window, huddled together and praying. After August 1483, there are no more reliable accounts of the princes being seen alive. The Tower of London, originally meant to be a temporary residence until Edward V's coronation, had become their prison and possibly their tomb. Their disappearance sparked immediate whispers of foul play, though nobody dared speak such accusations openly during Richard III's reign. Now, let's look at why Richard III tops most historians' suspect lists. The evidence against him is pretty compelling. He had both means and motive. As the boy's uncle and Lord Protector, he had complete control over the Tower of London and unrestricted access to the princes. His motivation? Simple. Those boys were the biggest threat to his crown. As long as they lived, Richard's claim to the throne could be challenged. The timing is also suspicious. The princes vanished right after Richard became king, and he never produced them to silence the growing rumors about their fate. Even more telling, he never launched an investigation into their disappearance or punished anyone for their presumed deaths. Instead, he acted as if they had never existed, refusing to even acknowledge questions about their whereabouts. While there's no smoking gun, Richard's behavior certainly raises red flags. But hold on, Richard III isn't the only suspect in this royal mystery. Let's look at two other compelling candidates. First, there's Henry VII, who defeated Richard and became king in 1485. He had a strong motive. Eliminating the princes would secure his own claim to the throne. Plus, he married their sister Elizabeth, which would have been politically awkward if her brothers were still alive. Then there's the Duke of Buckingham, Richard's former ally who later rebelled against him. Some historians suggest Buckingham killed the princes without Richard's knowledge, either to force Richard's hand or to make his own grab for power. Buckingham had royal blood himself and access to the Tower. He also chose an interesting time to rebel, right after the princes disappeared. While these theories are intriguing, they have their own problems. Henry VII would have needed access to the Tower while Richard was still king, and Buckingham's motives seem less clear-cut than Richard's. Let's dive into one of the most intriguing pieces of physical evidence in this royal mystery. In 1674, workers remodeling the Tower of London made a startling discovery: two small skeletons buried under a staircase in the White Tower. The bones were found about 10 feet deep, buried beneath old stones. King Charles II, intrigued by the possibility these might be the missing princes, had the remains moved to Westminster Abbey. When these bones were examined in 1933, experts found they belonged to two children, roughly matching the princes' ages. They also showed signs of being smothered, a common method of royal assassination that wouldn't leave visible marks. Modern scientists are eager to perform DNA testing on these remains, but so far, the Abbey has denied all requests. Without this crucial analysis, we can't definitively say these are the princes' bones, but their location and characteristics certainly make them our most tangible connection to this centuries-old crime. The disappearance of the princes didn't just end two young lives, it completely transformed English history. Richard III's reign was haunted by whispers about the boy's fate, weakening his grip on power and fueling rebellions. The mystery helped Henry Tudor gather support for his invasion, with many nobles backing him simply because they believed Richard had murdered his nephews. After becoming King Henry VII, he smartly married the prince's sister Elizabeth, uniting the warring houses of York and Lancaster. This marriage ended the Wars of the Roses and launched the Tudor dynasty, ushering in one of England's most transformative periods. The prince's story also changed how royal succession worked. Parliament became more involved in determining succession rights, and protecting royal heirs became a top priority. Even today, the Tower of London incident serves as a stark reminder of power's dark side in politics. The tragic tale of the princes has captured imaginations for centuries, inspiring countless works of art and literature. Shakespeare's Richard III, while historically questionable, painted such a compelling portrait of the king as a murderous uncle that it shaped public perception for generations. Famous paintings like John Everett Millet's The Princes in the Tower show the boys in their final days, creating haunting images that stick in our minds. Modern authors have tackled the mystery too, with historical novels offering new theories and perspectives. The story has inspired everything from children's books to BBC documentaries, proving that a good medieval mystery never gets old. What's fascinating is how each era reinterprets the tale. Victorian artists emphasized the prince's innocence, while modern works often focus on the complex political machinations behind their disappearance. Let's explore how modern historians are cracking this medieval cold case with 21st century tools and perspectives. Recent research has uncovered fascinating new details in long-forgotten documents. For instance, financial records from the Tower show regular food deliveries for high-status prisoners suddenly stopping in late summer 1483, a crucial timing detail we'd missed before. DNA analysis of Richard III's remains in 2012 opened new possibilities for testing those mysterious Tower bones if permission is ever granted. Some historians now suggest the princes might have been separated, with Richard of Shrewsbury possibly surviving in exile. Modern forensic psychology has also weighed in, analyzing Richard III's behavior patterns and political decisions in a whole new light. While we still can't solve this mystery definitively, new research methods are helping us understand it better than ever. Thanks for joining me on this journey through one of history's greatest mysteries. The fate of the princes continues to intrigue and puzzle us. If you enjoyed unraveling this medieval mystery, hit like, subscribe, and share to explore more historical mysteries together.